Go to an entitled. It's from yesterday. That's not you guys. Okay. Let's see. The calculator class, so you don't even need scrap paper really, unless you feel like you want to write stuff down. You can get scrap paper out. Actually, no, I have paper for you. No, I didn't. I need a little answer sheets. No. Yeah. Well, I gotta remember what period this is. This is 60. Okay. So I'm going to give you a question. You're going to try it. You can put your answer right in the number 1 spot there. Let's see how we do. If you can do all of these, you should be fine for Monday. If I were to put my questions now, they're there. Okay, first question. You're going to simplify this. Start with an easy one. And let's get a decimal for all of these. So calculator gives you back a fraction, convert it to a decimal. 7/8 minus 3/5. Good. So we should get 0.275. That's an exact answer because we don't have to round. All right, question number 2. A little trickier here. We're going to find the 5th root. Oh, what happened? 2. We're going to find the 5th root of 4 to the negative 1st plus 2 all over 1/5. On your calculator, you're going to look for the little nth root button. Pull up my calculator and I can show you in case you forgot where it is. I'm gonna let you guys work. I'm gonna freeze it and then do it on my calculator, and then you can see like what it should look like. Maybe. Thought I loaded the calculator. I don't see it now. There it is. But I'll show you where the nth root is in case you forgot. Oh my gosh. Okay, so 5th root, in case you forgot where it is. It's right above the caret, control caret. And then you can type in whatever root you want, and then inside we want a fraction, right? So I'm going to do control divide, and I've got a fraction. So I'm going to freeze it. I'll put my answer in. There first. fractions, what whole fractions underneath the radical? Oh yeah, then the controllers are instead. Oh, zero is where it's that right here above the radical. That makes you a little bit taller. Now, what should we do? There you go. Okay, here's what my calculator looks like. So it looks, there you go. It looks exactly like the problem. I've got the fifth root, and then I've got that fraction underneath. 4 is the negative first, plus 2 is my numerator, all over 1/5. Now, I use another fraction bar in the denominator. You can do that, or you can type it in as 1 divided by 5. It's the same thing. I usually like to type it in with the fraction, and then it looks like my problem. So I got that crazy answer first, and I did control enter, and I got 1.623. That rounds to. I think I helped. A couple people had some numbers in just different spots. Didn't look right, but we got it fixed. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. The square root of 3 to the negative first minus 1/7 plus 2. Looks like an easy question, but the most common mistake made with these roots is that you have to remember that if that plus 2 is not inside the radical, you gotta use your arrow to get the plus 2 out of the radical. So you're gonna finish up the 1/7, use your right arrow to bump yourself out of the radical, and then do the plus 2. People miss questions like these all the time because of that. Freeze it again and put it into my calculator. This looks good. Okay. I don't think anybody made a mistake, I thought. Okay. So remember to bump that plus 2 outside. Otherwise, it keeps it inside the radical, and then your answer's wrong. So I did control enter, 2.436. Okay, next question. Okay, you're going to find the zeros. Y equals squared plus 3x minus 14. So you're going to be going to graph page to do this. Plug that in, graph it, and then find the 0. So we have to know what that word means. 0 is an x-intercept. Your calculator will call it a 0 though. Get this sorted on mine. That's 0. It's the scientific notation that your calculator is being crazy. You should have 2 answers for this. Now you're probably going to notice that one of the answers, or maybe both of them, is going to give you like a weird number where you should see a 0. Your calculator your calculator's not always exact. It's approximating answers. So it's kind of finding as close as it can get to that number. Doing like using an algorithm to figure it out instead of using like the algebra to figure it out. So which is kind of confusing. Calculator should be using algebra, but it doesn't actually. So it's basically picking points really, really close until it gets there. So that weird number you're seeing is like, that scientific notation is like 0.00000000, like 14 zeros and then a number. That's 0. Your calculator is just approximating that number and it's really, really close to 0. But if we round that number, it's 0 anyway. So if ever you see that weird scientific notation, you can just call it 0. So here's my graph. Yeah, I got the weird number too. And I'm not seeing all the decimals either, so mine must not be set up right. Oh, maybe it is. That might be all the decimals there are. So remember, we're going to go, once we have our graph, you're going to go to Menu, Trace, Graph Trace. You're going to use your arrows. You can scroll left and right. We have 1 0 at negative 5.53. And then the other one over here on the right, we've got 2.53. So those are your 2 zeros. You can write them 2 different ways. Either one is fine with me. So you can write x equals, what was it, negative 5.53 and 2.53. You can write it like that as x equals, or you can write them as point values. Negative 5.530, 2.530. Either way is fine. Next up, we've got, even the pen over here. You're going to find the point of intersection. So y equals 2x and x plus y equals 6. Good. Okay. They're all ready. So I've got my 2 graphs plotted. It's your choice. You can solve the equation for y if you want, or you can type it in as a relation. So I'm going to, once I've got my graphs plotted, I'm going to go to Menu, Analyze, Intersection, where we get the dotted lines from yesterday. I'm going to start to the left, roll over till I get to the right side, and my final answer is 2, 4. And that's how you write your answer. It's a point, so you want to make sure you write it as a point. 2, 4. Okay, next question. Okay, here you're looking for a max or a min, whatever it may be. You're going to do y equals 3x to the second minus 2x minus 1. Find the max or the min. And you guys are doing fine for Monday. Annie, but he's super struggling with the calculator. Okay, let's freeze it. So here's my work. I've got my graph plotted. I'm gonna go, I've already got my trace set up, so I'm gonna go over until the little yellow box pops up, tells me it's a minimum. It's at 0.3 repeating, negative 1.3 repeating. Now you can write those as fractions if you want. Or you can round. You don't have to use the repeating bars. If I don't tell you how to round, always just assume it's 3 decimals. Okay, what else we got? Oh, one more. You're going to find the y-intercept of 2x to the third minus 2x plus 1. Need help? Let me know. Let me see the deck into his 2x. You see it? Okay, so I've got my graph plotted. I'm going to go to menu trace, graph trace. And my y-intercept. Show up. Yep, there it is. It's at 0, 1. Okay. You're gonna have some multiple choice questions asking like how to get to things. Let's see, what button would we press if we wanted to convert a fraction to a decimal? What would we do? Control what? Equals, yeah, we're gonna do control equals. Oh, you know. Doing, no. stressful when the TV is on and cooperate. Oh, I see why I'm not working. There we go. Okay. Yes. So we're gonna do Control, Enter. Right? So that's the combination of keys that you would press. So that's kind of like the type of question. Okay. What would you do if you wanted to undo something? Look for the undo button on your calculator. Maybe you can find it. Control what will get you undo? Escape. You're gonna do Control, Escape. Right above it, that's the little undo symbol, just like you see it on a computer screen. What else have we used? Got add page. We should know how to do that. That's Control Doc. If you're see, I added pages up here. Let's see. You've got fraction. We should know Control Divide. We just did at the beginning of the period on the nth root. Control Caret. From our on-screen, right, we have documents. We can make a new document. We can work in the scratch pad. We can do calculate and graph. What else we got that we talked about? We talked about zooming in and out. We talked about resetting our graphs. So if you're in a graph page and you have to reset anything, you go to the menu button. And most of the time you're going to be in Window Standard. And then graph entry will reset you to function if you're stuck in relation. Delete, delete, delete gets you out of what you need to get, what gets you a clean graph. And you got your escape button that pretty much gets you out of any tabs that you've got open. I think you guys did really well on this. So if you were able to do all this without a struggle, you should be fine on Monday. So if you want to do some more practice, I've got all those videos up in our Schoology page. And you can watch them. There's tons from Texas Instruments that you can watch too. Just search what you need help with. It'll come up with something. We're done really early today. Easy. Stop this.